Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to my channel Learn Math with Syed Ali. So we are continuing our topic of data management, lecture 2. So as we were discussing why we take the data, we collect the information, we collect the observations. This all things are called data and we keep them secure, and then we make the inference or inferences. What we make the inferences? What does inference mean? Inference meaning is a conclusion on the basis of evidence and reasoning, or you can say on data, based on the data. We make some conclusion, we make some statement, right? So that is called inference. Please remember the meaning of inference, right? A conclusion based on data, right? Evidence or this. And I can say here of data or basis of data, evidence and reasoning, right? So what is, and then I use two more terms in my last video, lecture 1, interpolation. Interpolation is an estimate of a values within the two known values, right? So interpolation means we have the two known values, but we don't have the like in between those two values, right? So we can interpolate, we can calculate that what will be the value in between those two values, or in other words we can say predicting values that falls within the range of the data. So within the range of the data we can predict something, right? It's not in the data, but we can predict it because that falls within the range of the values. The other term I use is extrapolation, predicting values for the points outside the range of the data. So we can also predict when the values are outside the range of the data, right? So this is how we use the data management in our daily life. And I also told you that we can have data of any sort, right? In manufacturing and production, we also collect some data. We collect data for temperatures, pressure, elevations, rainfall, noise level, whatever data we have to pick, we pick, and then we make inferences, we make interpolation, we make extrapolation. And that's how we can predict something or we can estimate something, right? So here is the example. Julie said that most people like fantasy movies. Do you agree with the Julie said? What Julie said? Explain. So we have a data here actually with the movies and we talked to like 41 people for vote for what they like. So there were segments for movies like comedy movies, action movies, romance movies, mystery movies, and fantasy movies. So the total number of the people voted for this competition or this to make the data are 41 votes, right, total. And individual votes were comedy 11, action 7, romance 3 votes, mystery 8 votes, and fantasy 12 votes. Now, what question is saying? Julie says, looking at this data, that most people like fantasy movies. Do you agree with this statement? Like she make an inference, right? She make an inference based on this data. Is it right inference or it's not a right inference? So we're looking at it. If we see that the fantasy, so fantasy is here, fantasy is 12, right? 12 people voted for out of 41. So the inference she made is not right. The wording is not right means is not right, right? So the most people like it. If she make the inference like the most people like fantasy movies voted for, but she has to say voted for. If most people like fantasy movies, it's not a correct inference because the total is 41, and out of 41, 29 people like something else. So that means you cannot make most people. So we will our answer will be no, right? Because why? Because, so we will write it here, because there are more people here are more people altogether. How many altogether? So 41 minus 12, right? So that is 29. So 29 people are there who voted for other type of the movies. Who voted for other type of movies, right? So that is statement or that inference is not correct. We say no, I don't agree with that. So now we have to make two inferences from this data. Can we make two inferences? Like the inferences should be right. Reading the data and making inference is also a technique that it should be correctly, hypothetically correct, right? So because this is like to estimate hypothetical values of any event or any data or any observation, right? And based on something. So we can make two inferences. So you will see that how to make inference, right? So make two inferences about this data, where data is comedy. 11 people voted for they like comedy movies. 7 people voted for they like action movies. So we have to see how to make the inference. So let's see this one. So we can say that least people like romance, least people, right? So I can make like romance movies. Least people like romance movies. So this is what I can make, right? So least people like romance movies, right? Another inference we can make maybe like this, that comedy is 11 voted for, and fantasy 12 people voted for, right? So altogether is like maximum, right? So we can say comedy and fantasy are the most liked videos, right? So we can say comedy and fantasy are most liked videos or movies, most liked movies. Most liked movies people voted for. So this is correct version, right? People voted for, right? So based on this data, we make two inferences. We can make lots of inferences and we can then judge whether the inference is right or wrong. So this is how we will doing the data management, that how to make inference, and then we will do some more exercise how to interpolate and extrapolate the data in the next video. So that will be lecture 3 on the same subject, data management. So hope you like the video. If you like it, please subscribe my channel and share it with your family and family friends. Maybe somebody is looking for educational stuff. Thank you for watching.